Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of my FM23 series with the Rayo Vallecano. The eyes test. I've got no other name for it. That's just how I'm going to call it. Fix my spectacles there. You'll see we've advanced now. We've done a little bit more. I'm going to show you sort of the tactics that we ended up settling on. I'm going to show you the signings that we've made and the decisions behind that, and the a lot of people call it DNA. With it being just purely like an eyes test, I've decided that I'm going to factor the players I want on 3 attributes. They need acceleration, they need jump and reach, and they need anticipation. For that being, as many of you rightfully pointed out in the last episode, I like big meaty boys, big meaty men. The meatier the better, ideally. But at the same time, I feel like if we're going to compete in this league, we need to be physically more dominant than some of the teams. So you think of like Real Madrid, they're quite a physical team, particularly under Carlo Ancelotti. Barcelona, on the other hand, are more possession based. Atletico Madrid, quite a physical team, and it's worked very well for them. So the idea that I had was that we're going to be a physical team, and that is how we're going to compete against the big boys. So with that being said, if we go back onto the scouting, you'll see there's the odd scouting recommendation, but if I click on the players, it tends to be, I'm trying to filter them out. Who has reported them? So it's Manu Ferrado. So what I think this is, I think he's recommending like top targets over in the scouting hub. It's been quite hard trying to filter them out, to be honest with you. Recruitment focuses, that's not where I want, is it? Scouting Centre. Uh, you can see I've already got rid of agent offers because the agents just all sorts of nonsense. Requested reports, obviously advice cards, highly recommended. We don't have any priorities, so they shan't be there. I actually think it is something to do with one of these advanced filters. I think it's this one, potential top target, because as you can see, it comes straight into the inbox rather than going through to the scouting centre. Uh, I could technically turn all these off, but we'll have a little play around with it. But again, literally all I'm doing is this is how I'm searching it. You'll see just based on this search. This was my goalkeeper one. It was anticipation, jump and reach, acceleration, kick and passing. And I'll show you why it's kicking and passing in just a second. Obviously, 15 would be perfect, but that didn't ideal well because we're treating that as like elite level. Elite level status is 15 plus. So if we got to work with like 13s, 14s for now, because let's be honest, we're not an elite team. But I'm going to show you the transfers based on what we did. So the transfer history, I'm going to, as you'll see, we actually sold £16.25 million worth of player, which I think is actually quite good. Apologies, I've just knocked the desk. So we started with, these are all ones that were already gone out at the start of the game. You see 11th of July, and then 18th of July onwards is sort of where we got involved. The first player out for £2 million was Pep Chavaria. You'll see again what he doesn't necessarily fit the DNA, if you would. His jumping reach is only 11. His acceleration is very, very good at 15, but his anticipation is down on 10. So you'll see why I want the anticipation with the tactics and the way we're going to play, but and why we want to be physical. He really doesn't suit it, so that's why he's gone out the door. Next up was Jose Pozzo. Again, similarly, he's a bit too small. If his anticipation and his acceleration were like elite levels, like if these are like 15, 16, I will keep a player like that around. But he wasn't the best winger. He was on quite high wage, so he went out the door. And then this one was a bit of a... he's the number one in real life. Stele Dimitrievski, great name, Macedonian. I actually sold him in favour of keeping hold of Danny Cardenas. You'll see, based on this, they're very, very, very similar. I didn't actually know this, but it did pop up here when I was trying to compare players that I have signed, and I'll show you in a minute. It tells you there that the graph will be more accurate based on scouting, so that's another thing I've got to be quite wary about. But again, it is just what I like seeing. We are actually playing a sweeper keeper on defend, So obviously, Stolle is on the left, Danny Cardenas is over here on your right. You see, they are quite similar, but what I really liked about Cardenas is his kicking. Kicking on for a goalkeeper is their ability to accurately distribute the ball, whereas their passing is the ball down and around on the floor. So if you wanted a sweeper keeper support or attack, passing. If you wanted a sweeper keeper who's just going to sort of come out, kick the ball, drop kick from his hands, whatever, that's the type you want. His kicking is brilliant. That's elite level for me. His one-on-ones are very, very good at 14. His passing is also very, very good at 14. Reflexes are 15. Rushing out tendency is very, very high. He doesn't throw the ball. That's not what we want to do. We want to kick the ball, so he made more sense. His anticipation a little bit higher. Again, that's something that I really, really want to drill down as one of the key principles for a player in this team. Composure's decent. Concentration, so they're very, very similar. Decisions are slightly better. His positioning's the same. Vision's not as good. His agility is better as well, though. Agility on a goalkeeper. Obviously, the whole thing of agility on the game is how well a player can start, stop, and move in different directions at varying levels of speed, both on and off the ball. It does apply to goalkeepers too. I think that gets forgotten about an awful, awful lot. His jumping reach is slightly less. I'm okay with that. But he's a little bit younger as well. He's got a bit more legs in him. I just thought it made sense financially. As you can see, he was only worth about 2.8 million. We managed to get 3.5 million for Stolle, so he went out the door rather than Danny Cardenas. But we did sign a backup goalkeeper who you'll see in a second. Next out the door then was former Manchester United player Bebe. You will see, although his acceleration and his jumping reach are both fantastic, his anticipation is dreadful. He didn't suit what I wanted. He's gone out to Toulouse, 350k. Oscar Valentin, again, he's actually a very good player, hence why he's ended up at AC Milan. I liked him. Financially, we were in a bit of bother. You'd have seen it in the first video. We actually didn't really have the funds to sign anyone, so we had to try and get some of the higher earners out to try and generate a bit of cash and work it that way and wheel and deal a little bit. And you'll see that based on the players that we brought in. And then we've loaned out two players. We loaned out Sergio Camelo, who I think is actually a very good player. I'd have been very stupid to sell him from the off because he has got a bit of potential in him. His jumping reaches, it can get better. He's only 22. Anticipation's good. His acceleration's decent. Very good finisher, really determined, good off the ball. I thought we'd loan him out. We've loaned him out to a league rival, but he has gone over there as a regular starter for Almeria. And then Andre Rayo basically he was playing right back. I don't really like the look of him. Technically, he's not that good either. And we did sign another right back who is a bit of a blast from the past. He also helped fulfill the registration rules because he's played in Spain for a few years. He doesn't count as a foreign player. So yeah, we'll move on to the ends now. Starting with, again, Florent Lejeune, Esposito, De Frutos. These are all ones from before I started. And then here are the ones in. And this guy is purely a backup to replace the outgoing Pep Chevalier because Mr. Alfonso Espino is the starter. Very good player. At 31, look at him. He's great. He's great as a fullback, and he's got what we want. Again, I did say if their acceleration and anticipation is higher to the elite level, I keep them. But then he's also got the physical attributes. He's got really good pace, stamina, really good strength. He's good. He's a good player, so he is the starter. But we brought in Jordan Marshall. Yeah, that is our backup. You'll see ability-wise, again, this is the coach's summary of him. The coach being Darren Wassell, who is our new head of youth development. You'll see, again, I'll talk about the staff in a minute, but I really tried to drill down on the staff and what we wanted. But Darren Wassell, 16 ability, 18 judging player potential, good working with youngsters, a very good personality, 4-2-3-1, coming from Derby County. But he seems to think that Jordan Marshall's only a two-star player. I just like the look at him. He's on very cheap wages. You'll see he's only an emergency backup. He's only on 4k a week. He's one of the foreign players. But in terms of what we want, he's got decent jumping reach. He's got very good anticipation, very good acceleration. Teamwork, work rate. Again, we were talking about in the last video that we would treat like 13s, 14s as like just below the next level. everything I really want. 13s, 14s, 13, 14. Composure, concentration, and decisions aren't amazing, but if their anticipation is high, I'm okay with that, and that's why we wanted to drill down on that. He's not going to play an awful lot. He might come in for cup games. He might literally just be a player off the bench. But Jordan Marshall is the first signing. Next up was Suleiman Mara. He is a free transfer. He came in from Ghent. Again, he doesn't count towards the foreign players because he played, you'll see down there, he played for Almeria. He also played for Real Valladolid at one point. Again, another Madrid club. Um, Very good stamina. Physically, is a beast. Good height, good determination, a very good concentration, decisions, anticipation, a decent first touch passing. He can cover multiple different positions. I thought he just offered us something a little bit different. Again, he's coming on a free transfer. Just a very good pickup. We'll move on then to we broke our transfer record twice in the same window on two English centre backs. Again, not ones that many will probably pick up. The first being Reece Oxford. Uh, Again, if you try and think with the players I'm trying to get, it's their jump and reach, their acceleration, anticipation all need to be quite high. We wanted someone who's quite good, who's fairly young, still has a little bit of legs in him, still has somewhere to grow. If you actually watch Zealand's video and Knowledge Based FM's video, they basically say that 27 is the age a player stops developing. But I just thought Reece Oxford, he's quite quick, he's good in the air, 6'3". He's very good leader at the back, good positioning, good work rate, good teamwork, anticipation's great. His bravery, how committed the player is, marking, passing, tackling, technique. And don't forget, when I'm looking at these players, I don't get any of this. I don't get any of the pros and cons. I'm purely looking at this. Obviously, it might be a bit easier when the season started, and I can have a little look at what their seasonal stats are. I thought he was a good pickup. He was only valued at 1.8 million. The transfer does say 3 million, but it is actually only, I think, 1 million up front and then 2 million across the course of another 2 seasons. So just 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. We can afford that. 16 grand in wages is a little bit high, but it's that English tax, isn't it? I think he's a very good player. He's decent on either foot as well. He's not amazing on his left. Again, can cover quite a multitude of positions. Can cover out at right back if need be. That was the idea bringing him in. You'll notice a lot of the players seem to have been in and around England, and that's another thing that what I'm going to have to do is drill down with the staff to find out the world knowledge that we've got. So, for example, if I believe scouting coverage, and then we want to look at world knowledge, you see we've actually got it's quite broad. A lot of South America, a very average, to say a lot of South America. We've got average in South America. Does it tell me who the scout is? No. But does it tell me? It used to tell me. Main knowledge. So they're all club knowledge. So basically, what I needed to do, here you go, this is where it tells you. What I needed to do is I needed to find staff members who could come in and sort of fit what we wanted. We wanted like good personalities. We wanted people who are going to come in who've got good knowledge of different areas of the world. For example, Colo Torre, very good staff member. He's a model citizen. His preferred formation is 4-2-3-1. That's what we want. He's very, very good defensively. I thought, considering we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, we need a good defensive coach, good determination. I like him. I like Colo Torre as a coach. But his scouting knowledge, you see, he's got Scotland in there from when he was at Celtic. He's got the Ivory Coast and he's got England. So that means when we're looking in the player search and player search function, we could potentially find some players from the Ivory Coast, from Scotland, and from England because Colo Torre is giving us that knowledge. Similarly for Korea Republic. Kyung Tae Kim came in as a coach, only a balanced personality and not the formation we wanted. But I thought Korea is actually on FM. Korea has always been known as a nation that does a lot of good. You can get a lot of good youngsters from there, and I thought as the save progresses, that's going to be quite good. Similar again, Morten Jorgensen give us Denmark. He's got a very broad knowledge of Denmark. Rui Agas, one of our new assistant manager. You'll see with him, he's got Cape Verde, Egypt, Portugal, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, France, Argentina, Colombia. It all made sense. So that's why we went that way. So this first season, it is only going to be sort of players from the world knowledge of what the club had, and because obviously I'm an English manager, a lot of English players come in, and that's how we ended up with Adam Eder. It's a loan signing. There's no obligation to buy. There's an option to buy, I believe, for 9.5 million. If we get that, great. If not, okay. But basically, same again. He's a big boy, 6'3". He's very strong. He's very quick. Good jumping reach, which has already gone up. His anticipation's at a decent level. His determination is quite high. Off the ball, teamwork, work rate, good penalty taking, good finisher. He can play different positions, so we can mix it up. He can play as an advanced forward. If someone's high, we can try and play through, try and pass into the space, get Adam Eder involved. A pressing forward, he can do that, but we are mainly playing with a target forward on attack, and he suits that quite well. Bravery and aggression don't really matter as much as it tries to make out. I have actually had quite a lot of success with a target forward on the game before. It doesn't really need that. But yeah, Adam Eder come in, 1.3 million loan fee. We're paying all of his wages up front, and there's an option to buy there for 9 million. I thought that was good foil, and he's going to be learning off Radamel Falcao. I just think it was a good foil. And then the backup goalkeeper who's come in, please don't look at his wage. It's a disgraceful wage. Our wage cap was only 500,000, I believe. He took us to 350,000. But Kiko Casillas come in, former Leeds goalkeeper. I believe he was playing for Elche. Yeah, Elche at the back end of last season. But similarly, again, we want to sweep a keeper on defence. So don't forget, his jumping reach is still decent. His acceleration is okay. I let that go purely because his kicking, like everything else, is quite elite. He rushes out the goal. Very brave, really good composure. I like Kiko Casilla. He is purely a backup. He won't play often, but I did think with us losing quite a good goalkeeper in Stolle, that him and Cardenas need to be working, sort of battling each other. And I thought a good backup goalkeeper would push Cardenas a little bit more. And then our most expensive signing ever. Please ignore the pros and cons. Jake Wolfenden, from Ipswich Town, he came in for 4 million. Similarly, again, it was 1 million up front and then spread across over 4 years, just 1 million ago. Again, think of what we want. We want good acceleration, good jump and read, good anticipation. They're all high enough. He's got a little bit of room to grow. I quite like him. Thankfully, despite all his cons, he doesn't like playing in big matches. That's fine. I won't play him against the likes of Madrid, Barcelona, Atleti, anyone like that. I won't play Wolfenden. I've actually got quite a few options at the back, but he is quite consistent. So he will basically play to these attribute levels on a fairly regular basis. He's balanced and normal personality. He's quick. He's versatile. He can play right. Again, he can play right back. He's good. I think he's good, and he'll win a lot of headers. He'll probably score a few goals for us as well. He can dribble with the ball. I just thought he was a good option to bring in. He was actually one of the first ones I put an offer in for. And then next up, here's your blast from the past signing. It's Alan Neom, former West Brom and Watford fullback. 35 years of age, but look at these physical and mental attributes. Technically, he is still very, very good as well. But really good strength, really good pace, good natural fitness, good jump and reach, acceleration, anticipation, very brave. Good off the ball, brilliant teamwork, good work rate, great tackling. Same again, look at all these pros. Don't forget, I don't see these. I've just got to look at the player and see whether he will fill a job. He can play centre-back. He can play further up the pitch. He can play wing-back. He can play... I just think he's very well-rounded. And at his age, I think we've done a good thing getting him in. He is only on a year's deal, but I'm hoping we can keep him around and let's just try and keep him around. I think he's got a good enough personality as well, being resolute, that if he does decide to be a staff member at one point, we can probably keep him around the club. And that then leads us to the tactics that we are now going to be playing for the season. Again, I did mention in the video yesterday, I'm recording this the next day. It doesn't mean it's going up Friday. But we wanted wing play. I like getting balls into the box. Falcao was going to be the target man for those balls into the box. But we've got two wingers, 4-2-3-1. We're playing Trejo a little bit higher up the pitch than we would do normally, purely because he can't play that DM role. But again, sweeper, keeper, defend, two fullbacks, no instructions on them. We just want them overlapping, as you can see, overlap left and right. A higher tempo. We're going to play wide. We're going to be a bit more direct. But then in transition, we're going to take short kicks and we want to distribute to the fullbacks. That doesn't mean Cardenas won't go a bit further if he has to, but we can always change that. If Trejo's getting a lot of space, tell him to knock it there. And then we don't want to press high purely because we don't have a lot of pace up front in terms of the striker. So obviously, De Thomas and Falcao aren't that quick, but De Frutos and Plazon are quite quick. We do also have a very, very quick winger on the bench. Where is he? Alvaro Garcia. 18 and 17. So I think coming off the bench to stretch a team, to run at a team, I think Alvaro Garcia is going to be a good option off the bench. But that's the main formation, just the standard 4-2-3-1, a little bit asymmetric, but it is what it is. And then the next formation we decided to do is a bit of a Christmas tree. We will change to that if we're really pushing for a goal or if we're really favourites for a team. I actually think that that Pathé Cease is good enough to hold down this position on his own. Again, think about what we want. We want acceleration, we want anticipation, we want jump and reach. He is also very, very good defensively, positional wise. So this is his ability to read the defensive situation. He's 15. He will basically just sit. He can hit people. He's strong. He's good in the tackle. He's got a lot of stamina. It makes a lot of sense that we're going to play this way. He does have the trait of getting further forward, but I'm hoping we can trade that out of him. And that leads us on to our first game of the season. We are at home against Cadiz. The assistant manager's telling us to make a few tactical changes. I'm not going to bother for now. Trigger the best press when the ball is played to Jose Mari. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Low crosses. No, we don't want that. We don't want to pass it into the space because we are only using a target forward. And we don't want to go positive just yet. Looking forward to this. They're one of them teams, Cadiz, who come up and just did really, really well, and it just seemed to be in La Liga now for a good couple of years. I think they had Negredo up front last year. For those who didn't actually notice it, I am playing on the updated database, so the squads, the teams, the league, whatever, is from the 23-24 season. Now, I'm not too sure how the recording's going to play out. I am still messing with my OBS settings, but we'll only find out. We'll only find out. So it's nothing to worry about just yet. So we're only about 7 minutes in, but I am noticing a trend that we are having a lot of possession. I'm going to give them till about 15, 20 minutes, and then if it is still very, very heavily possession based, I'm probably going to pop that up to positive. But it was a big tackle there from De Frutos, and we'll see as we go forward now with Cease to Reese Oxford. Neon. I don't like that they're exclusively playing it wide, but Raul de Thomas is in. Raul de Thomas! Oh, he's at the crossbar! Oh, you could see Falcao just dropped off slightly, and it allowed de Thomas in. Yeah, I'm going to go positive. We're all over this. We do win the ball back quite quickly. I do like that. Here we go, Cardenas. Short to Abdul Mumin. Abdul Mumin's a weird one. I do quite like him, but he has got quite a high value. And again, I did sign a couple of centre halves, so we'll see what we do with him. But we are knocking the ball around. Cease turned. Neon to De Frutos. Thomas puts it over the crossbar. But nice play. Very nice play. I may change the wide to fairly wide because I feel like we're putting too much emphasis on the wingers and it looks as though Trejo's picking up a lot of good positions. We'll see. We are only playing a mid-block, but they do seem to be pressing quite high. So we'll see how that goes. But here's... Cease. Thought it wasn't that then. Trejo flying in. That's a great tackle. So Cadiz just seem to be getting themselves back into the match a little bit too much for my liking, so I have just dropped us back down to balanced. Um, Again, I don't want to go too gung ho, but here's the free toss again. Falcao! Oh. I'm liking it though, I'm liking it. Goal kick to Cadiz, which is headed away. Trejo picks it up now. Falcao. There's free toss. Papi Cease. Oscar Trejo. Oh, you can see what he was trying. You can see what he was trying. Conan's gone long, and again, it's Espino who picks it up. Abdul Mumin. Cease to Reece Oxford. Oh, it's not a great pass by Pathé Cease. Demaches. It's a good save, Cardenas. Nicodis corner now. Need to mark our men. Cardenas punches away. Jose Mari, good block. There's Chust. Cardenas again. They're causing us a few problems going forward, Cadiz. A fair few problems. It's well headed away. And EC gives away a poor free kick right on the edge of the box, half an hour in. Good. Cardenas saved that. I think it's going to be a long, bumpy season. It's another corner to Cadiz. Moomin heads away to Thomas, falling over, because that's exactly what we wanted you to do. Good ball out to Zaluda. Guardiola puts that over the bar. They are really, really, really coming at us at the end of the half here. I think a few changes might be needed at half time. It's another free kick to them. It's headed away. Here is Jorge Mera. I'm happy with them shooting from long range. They've only really got into the box twice. But you'll see they're having a lot of shots off at the minute, and it's just, oh, God. Right, so at half time, we need to start marking Sergio Guardiola a bit better. Um, Struggle for possession in the opposition's half. I've hardly conceded any free kicks in promising areas. I don't know where he's getting that from. Good touches to shots, regain possession well in central areas of own third. Yeah, they're playing a lot through their number 6, which I think is Mira. Jose Maria is. So yeah, we do. I think we need to get Cease to maybe mark Mari. Um, we're playing a lot around the back. A lot of stuff is going through Moomin, which I think that's why Oxford's not doing so well because Moomin's had more touches on the ball. But yeah, let's mark Guardiola and let's see how we can sort this out. So a couple of changes. We have Mark Guardiola up. I've gone fairly wide because I think we were going a little bit too wide in the end there. I've also brought on Alvaro Garcia because Izzy was looking nervous. Um, I'm going to give Falcao another 10 or 15 and then probably bring either on and look to knock the ball into the space because they are actually quite high. The only other option I'm thinking of doing is maybe bringing Wolfenden on for Reece Oxford. But again, they all look slightly nervous. Adrian Hernandez is another. He's a good centre back. He can play with the ball at his feet as well, but he's another option that we could bring on. Yeah, a lot of nervous looking players. Yeah, I'm going to give this another sort of 10, 15, see how they get on. I may change to the Christmas tree, maybe, but I actually quite like the chances we're making. We just don't seem to be taking them. That's much better. That was much better by Cease. You can see from that, another free kick for them. I don't know what our analyst was chatting when he said they're not getting free kicks in dangerous areas because they've had about 10 after Movement's picked up a booking early on in the second half. Nice claims, nice. Just roll out, mate. Just roll it out. You got all the time in the world. Oh, he's launched it. It's headed away, but here's Alvaro. He is quick, Alvaro. Espino looking for Oscar Trejo. Can he create? You can find Espino. Trejo! Oh! We have still had the better chances. We really have. Espino. Trejo. Espino's ball in! It's in! It's the Frutos! And I think VAR are checking it. Oh, fuck off, a Falcao's offside. The first goal of the Rayo Vallecano series, and it's the Frutos. Good header by the winger. So about 60 minutes in, I am going to make a few changes. I'm going to probably bring the Thomas off. You can see bringing Alvaro on was the right decision. Falcao is playing well, but purely because his natural fitness isn't amazing, I'm going to bring him off. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to bring either on. We are going to go advance forward, and we are going to pass into the space purely because we have got the quicker players on the pitch now. Pass it into the space. That is fine. Raul de Tomas is looking really, really tired, so I'm actually going to bring Randy and Tekka on. Randy and Tekka, who we looked at in the last video, he can still play that attacker midfield, but he is big. He's big lad, good jump and reach, really quick, really strong. I like Randy and Tekka. I really wanted to keep him about. I am also going to bring Reece Oxford off, and I am going to put, purely because he's so composed, I'm going to put Hernandez on and just make him just a normal central defender because I don't want him losing the ball. And again, just before we look, their line is quite high. I think Ida could probably get in behind. They're playing a lot of balls through the number 32, which I think is Chust. I'm actually going to tell Ida to press him a little bit more. Right, so the triple sub is on. But again, it's Cadiz who are coming forward. Here's Jose Mari, good delivery, headed away. And Tekka. Randy. Dallied on the ball a little bit there in Tekka. Cardenas, he's good, you know. He's a good goalkeeper. Claims an awful lot. There you go, nice little roll. That's what I wanted to do before. Anyway, here's Alvaro, who has got the legs to run, but no space to run into. Esposito to Abdul Mumin. Run. Adrian. To De Frutos. Adamida. It's Alvaro! Oh, yes. That is fantastic football. Substitutes combining from back to front. Lovely football. The Frutos, again, this is the pace, the anticipation. Ida holds the ball up well, knocks it through, and Alvaro, I did say, I highlighted Alvaro. I think he's going to be our super sub purely for the pace aspect. Teams can't handle him. They couldn't handle him in pre-season. It's 2-0 to the Rayo Vallecano. Well, not something we wanted and not something I was planning on, but Adam Ida looks to have picked up an injury, a potential foot injury. Hopefully it's not a bad one. But we did get this lad through, a model citizen, 4.5-star potential player from the youth academy. He was already in there at the start of the game. He's only 16. Again, jump and reach isn't great. Anticipation and acceleration are good for a 16-year-old. Good determination. I'm going to bring him on. He does come deep to get the ball, so I'm going to play him as a deep lying forward on support so we can attack the ball from deep, and that'll probably make Tekka the one who runs forward a bit more. I'm going to bring Maret on as well for Path. No, I can't. No. That was the next option, was bringing Maret on for Pathé Cease, but yeah, we've been forced into a... Oh, God, I hope he's not injured. I hope he's not really injured, you know. So De Frutos, trying to play it in early to Tekka. Headed away. Cadiz look to have lost their heads a little bit, you know. There's Pathé Cease to Adrian. Oh my God, it's Ivan Ramos! Oh my God, I thought he backed. Oh, I thought he backed. Here we go. This is the first corner highlight of the game, believe it or not. Oscar Trayo standing over the ball. He's going to whip it in. It's gone for Ivan Ramos. Oh, headed away by Lucas Perez. A encouraging start. The team looked to be digging in quite deep, considering that spell that Cadiz had late on in the first half. We seem to have dug in deep. We've ridden the wave. We really do look in control of this match, and it's very good to see. But here's Oscar Trayo now. Lovely ball to Randy and Taka. Should have squared it, Randy. We've got another corner. We are all over them now. Trayo's corner. Yeah, and he's gone far post. We do have two. We have a near post and a far post one in true FM fashion. He seems to be favouring the far post though, which is a bit weird. He's gone for it again. And Taka. Oh, Alvaro battling away, and here's Alan Neom. Quietly, Alan Neom has had a fantastic game on this right-hand side. Yeah, I think Alan Neom is probably going to be our surprise signing of the season, I think. Adrian has launched it for Randy and Taka. Go on, son. Oh, right, I'm going to pause it. Oh, God, I've zoomed in now. Didn't mean that. Right, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to have a look at our corner tactic, because we do have a front and a back post one. Look, there's two, but they seem to just be aiming for the near. For the far. Wherever you are. Yeah, let's just see this highlight. Let's see how it goes. It might just be Trayo, just being a silly boy. Oscar Trayo. Deep delivery. Headed away. And headed on by Ramos for a throw-in. Neom will take. And Teka. Neom. Abdul Mumin's in. Abdul Mumin. Oh, Abdul. Abdul, come closer. Abdul, go back. You're a centre half. Christ. Changing to a fairly wide rather than fully wide seems to have given us a lot more control of this match. As Cardenas, again, he is very good at it in his box, isn't he? And he's absolutely lumped it. Here's Ntecha. Out wide to Alvaro. Look at the pace of Alvaro! Oh, I like Alvaro. I like him. Definitely an impact player. I don't think he could play from the off. Abdul Mumin's flicked header. Yeah. Again, I mentioned Neom 7.1 now. I do think that fairly wide give us a bit more control of the game. So it might be something that I look to implement from the off as Trejo loses the ball. Ball over the top for Gomez and easily saved by Cardenas. I really like Cardenas. He looked good in pre-season as well, to be honest. But they're pressing him really hard. They don't want him playing it short, but that's okay because he can absolutely belt them. I just realised they've still got pass into space on with a deep line forward, but we're in the 88th minute now, so it doesn't matter. Oh, great defending from Ari Dane after he made the mistake. Hernandez, that is a great block. It looks like we're getting the end of game highlight now as it's lumped forward to their goalkeeper who lumps it back. And there it is. A very, very encouraging start to this series. I think I've made some decent transfers considering I can't scout them. Probably players I wouldn't have signed if I had scouted them, particularly someone like Neom, Wolfenden probably wouldn't have come in. I'm quite happy. I'm happy with the decision. Danny Card there with the goalkeeper. I think Danny Cardenas looked absolutely sublime there. 7.6. I've got my glass on. I still can't read. 7.6 he's finished up on there. I think we've made some decent additions, some shrewd additions, and some good decisions along the way. So Adam Ida's going to be out for between 2 to 3 weeks, which isn't ideal. Games do come thick and fast in the early stages of the season. I think that's going to put a lot of emphasis on, obviously, on Radamel Falcao. But looks like Ivan Ramos has been thrust into the spotlight really early on into his Vallecano career. We have got him training as an advanced forward, but I don't really like the comes deep to get ball. But I wanted to get his acceleration and whatnot up, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, a very encouraging start to the save. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully the gameplay was better than I think it was. It's always hard to tell. Again, I've not got an amazing laptop. I think a few other FM YouTubers just starting out have had issues with that too. If we have to play on 2D, we have to play on 2D, but we'll see how it is. But yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, put the notification bell on so you can see whenever a new video comes out. Thank you for the support on the first video that come out yesterday. Absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely day, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all next time for episode 3 of the Eyes Test. Rayo Vallecano.